All right, we're back, Buck, with everyone's favorite. Well, no, I'm not going to say that, but they are slowly catching up to the number one worst airline in the United States, and that's Spirit Airlines. Have you ever heard of Spirit?
No.
They're kind of like the Greyhound of the skies. Southwest. That's got like the moniker of the Greyhound of the skies, but I think Spirit's trying desperately to take that title. It is a discount airline where you pay for your flight, and then for every little thing that you want to add on that you would normally have on a regular flight, there's an up service. Um, oh, you want a drink? Well, that's a cash. You have to have cash to buy a soda on from the cart. I swear to God, I've never been on a Spirit airline, but I just envisioned the stewardess having that little change clicker that used to have the guy at the arcade used to have on his belt. Remember those?
Mm.
Um, and it's a mess. It really is. You never hear anything good coming out of a Spirit airline story. And this particular case is no different. This comes from the daily.com. Did they leave with an empty plane? Customer says Spirit Airlines moved flight time up and notified her 2 minutes after the plane left. In a viral TikTok video, customer Kaylee Reed says Spirit Airlines emailed her about the change in flight times 2 minutes after the plane left. If you need one more fucking reason to never fly Spirit, here it is. Reed says that her flight was scheduled to leave Las Vegas at 4 p.m. and they arrived at 2:45 p.m. to check in. That's like plenty of time, right? She says. However, when Reed made it to check in, the Spirit employee told her her flight had already left and that she should have checked her email for notification about the flight time change. Reed says she received an email at 3:02 p.m. that said the flight would leave at 3 p.m. instead of an hour later as planned. That's 2 minutes, 2 fucking minutes after the plane had left, the TikToker says. Reed says that she spoke with many other Spirit customers who were supposed to be on the same flight but missed it due to late notice. She also says that customer service provided no help, refunds, or compensation. We're trying to talk to a customer service rep, and she's like, "You missed your flight. It's your fault." I don't know what. I don't know how they're getting away with this. In a follow up video, Reed says she disputed the charges through her credit card company, American Express, and was able to get all of her money back. Spirit's customer service team reached out to her on an Instagram, but she says they soon ghosted her. Reed and her husband had to stay in Las Vegas for an additional 2 days before they could get back on another flight on Southwest Airlines. She says her husband missed 2 days of work as a result. Never fucking fly Spirit, Reed says. Don't do it. Pay the extra, however many hundreds it is, to go with a Delta flight because they are reliable. They will get you to your destination, and if you fly someone else and you're going to have to spend the extra money anyway. Her initial video received 8.6 million views, and many viewers were shocked but not surprised. Did they leave with an empty plane? LMFAO. The fact that Spirit is still operating business baffles me, another chimed in. I'll ride on Heelys across the country before I fly Spirit, a third user joked. Several others shared their own horror stories when flying with Spirit Airlines. Waited 7 hours in an airport yesterday, delayed 4 times, and then canceled. Thanks, Spirit, one user said. Luckily, stuck in Cancun right now because Spirit canceled a flight. Can't get home for another 2 days. At least I have Margs, another user claimed. The first and last time I tried to fly Spirit, my flight was canceled less than 24 hours before the flight back got canceled while we were boarding, a third user shared. The Daily Dot reached out to Reed via email and Spirit Airlines via email. Doesn't say whether they got a response or not, just says they reached out. But, I mean, yeah, that's Spirit Airlines in a nutshell right there. It really is. I mean, we've all had incidents where flights get delayed. It sucks. I've had flights canceled because of weather, but that's not the airline's fault, typically. But in this case, this is just complete and utter mismanagement.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they overbooked their flight and they were like, our business is already struggling enough. How can we loophole our way out of this without giving anyone a refund? Uh, all right. Anybody with any ideas, go. Somebody's like, all right. will send out a cancellation of flight email 2 minutes after the flight leaves and then try to pawn it off like it was their fault.
Oh, it wasn't even a cancellation. They literally had the plane leave an hour early. Then as soon as it was gone, notified people, hey, by the way, your flight left an hour early. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
No, man. Everybody, what they did was they got the numbers of everybody who checked in already for that flight. They were like, oh, fuck, we're already full. Send it off. Let's go. Board them, send them. We'll take care of the rest.
I mean, it's possible that could have happened. You know, Spirit Airlines is one of those airlines that are contemplating having the standing seats. Have you seen these damn things? Where you actually have to stand up for your entire flight. You just have this kind of thing you lean on, and it sits in your grundle. Yeah, they've actually considered doing those. They're being manufactured and sold at trade shows. And Spirit's one of the ones they've been considering using them, so they can almost double their seating occupancy. Make you stand.
That's ludicrous.
Make you stand the entire fucking flight.
Boy, I wonder how that would work for me.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And I'm not even trying to be like funny about it. Like, I'm just wondering, like, if all you have are standing seats, how are you going to get my crippled ass on your fucking plane? Because I assure you that whatever you think you have that's supposed to help me stand up, I'm not using it. Like, that's just like, you go ahead and postulate, oh, well, you know, these are ergonomically designed to be able to help you, you know, deal with. I got at least 4 people named ologists that strongly disagree with everything you're saying. Standing up on a flight for the entire flight, that's a hard sell, man. That's a hard sell, man.
I'll send you pictures of them later. They're kind of funny. They're just hilarious to look at. They kind of remind me of those like roller coasters where you hang down below the track. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of those. But anyway, so yeah, Spirit really screwed the pooch on this one. It'd be a funny story if it wasn't for the fact that Spirit pulls this kind of shit all the time. I mean, mm-hmm. when you'd rather fly Southwest than Spirit, I mean, that says something.
I was about ready to say that. I was like, when the hell did we evolve as a society to where Southwest Airlines became the upgrade?
Maybe this is a conspiracy by Big Airline. They all got together and said, hey, let's make an airline so bad that all the other airlines look good by comparison. Because that's kind of what this reminds me of, what this could be.
You know what? I'm not ruling anything out. You know what? Until we investigate further, which we won't. But until somebody gets us a definitive answer on this, I think that's a really good theory to hang our hat on, man. That's an excellent grave to dance on.
Well, considering the amount of people inconvenienced by this, the amount of financial loss from all those customers having to rebook flights, fight with their credit card companies, and everything else, I'm going to go ahead and give them the 5. This isn't just inconveniencing 1 or 2 people. This is an inconveniencing and costing financial hardship to an entire airplane's load of people. I'm giving it a 5.
And then they're also still trying to feign innocence. So yeah, I'll co-sign that 5. I was leaning more towards a 4, but you've shown me some really compelling math here that all seems to check out. So yeah, 5 is the way we'll go.
Okay, Buck. Our last story.
I can't. I hope you're gonna cover what I think you're gonna cover, man. What is our last story, Raz? What do we got?
Our last story has to be about one of the dumbest people on an airplane in recent history. Video shows, this is coming from USA Today, by the way. Video shows former boxing champion Mike Tyson hitting an airline passenger. Mike Tyson punched a passenger who was on an airplane during an incident that took place Wednesday night based on video published online by TMZ. The video footage shows blood on the side of the man's head after the incident with 55-year-old Tyson, the former heavyweight boxing champion. Unfortunately, Mr. Tyson had an incident on the flight with an aggressive passenger who began harassing him and throwing a water bottle at him while he was in his seat. The passenger was seated in the row behind Tyson and was excitedly talking to the retired boxer before Tyson stood up, turned around, and unloaded with a flurry of punches. The man shooting the video of the incident said, "My boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson." And the passenger was, quote, "just trying to ask him for an autograph. Man, I don't know what happened." The incident took place on a JetBlue flight that was scheduled to depart at 10 p.m. from San Francisco International Airport to Florida. On Wednesday, April 20th, 2022, at approximately 10:06 p.m., the San Francisco police assigned to the SFPD Airport Bureau were dispatched to a physical altercation on board of an airplane located at the domestic terminal of the San Francisco International Airport. The San Francisco Police Department said in a statement, officers had detained 2 subjects who were believed to be involved in the incident. One subject was treated at the scene for non-life-threatening injuries. That's actually kind of surprising. One subject was treated on the scene for non-life-threatening injuries. The subject also provided minimal details of the incident and refused to cooperate further with the police investigation. Both subjects were released pending further investigation. The SFPD is aware of a video that possibly captured the incident, which surfaced following the initial investigation. The video was forwarded to San Mateo County Sheriff's Office. JetBlue did not respond to requests for information. So the guy was making a horse's ass of himself, threw a water bottle at Mike Tyson. Dude! Of all the people to pick a fight with.
Yeah, oh man.
I mean, Mike Tyson's not the most stable human being in the world to begin with. But he is, without a doubt, one of the most badass fighters ever to walk the face of this earth. And you want to pick a fight with him. I'm gonna pick a fight with Mike Tyson. Okay.
You don't keep the nickname Iron Mike through your fucking retirement if you can't live up to it. You know, like if like there are other boxers out there who once they retire, they would be the boxer formerly known
as Iron Mike.
As Iron Mike. Yeah, no. He's still Iron Mike. Dude, he's still got that title.
And dude's let's just say this. This is how nuts he is. Dude's got a tattoo on his face.
No, man, I'm not even going to candy coat it. I wouldn't hit Mike Tyson with your hands. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I haven't watched the video, but it's right here. And if the listeners will indulge me for a few seconds, I'm going to click and listen and watch. Oh my God, this guy had it coming. I can see it already. So just to paint the story here. Dude is across the aisleway. They're in first class seating. The first class actually has like the little compartments. And he's videotaping over the aisle to his friend who's looking right at the camera, making like gestures, and he's up there like rapping right in Mike Tyson's ear, like bending over his seat, messing with him. And he's literally like videoing this guy harassing Mike Tyson. Not the smartest thing this dude's ever done.
Tyson looking out, man. This shit crazy as fuck.
He should have never gave you his money.
And now the guy's actually has a cup of water, making fun of Mike.
JetBlue, mid flight.
And now they show the guy with a bloodied up face.
Turn that way. Yeah, he got fucked up. Trying to ask for an autograph, man.
Hey, Mike, come on.
And the video that actually shows him guy getting his ass whipped is from a couple aisles back, or a couple rows back. So, yeah, the guy looks like he had it coming. Violence isn't usually the answer, but you kind of like tied your own noose with this one, kid.
Hey, whose fault is it when it happens? Okay, the guy who pokes the bear, is he at fault for not reading the sign that clearly says "Don't poke the bears," or is it the zoo's fault for having the bear?
Exactly.
Okay, if you poke the bear,
I just said he tied his own noose with this one, man. He
really did. No, I'm not. I am not doing anything but agreeing with you, man. Like this guy stuck That's why he won't cooperate with police, man, because he knows he ate a shit. He's got to eat that shit sandwich. Like, that's why the police are like, what happened? What happened? What happened? He's like, nope, fuck you. Like, he doesn't even want to admit it, man.
Just be,
like,
dude, just be, like, take the story and ride it, you know, through the bars of the rest of your life. That, hey, I got my ass kicked by Mike Tyson once. Because no one's gonna look down on you for losing a fight to Mike Tyson. They're just gonna they're actually gonna put you on a pedestal for saying you survived a fight with Mike Tyson.
Yeah. You know, and Mike Tyson, in my opinion, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there, he gets a 0. Like, Mike Tyson gets no social liability score, man. Being that famous and being in the limelight, that's stressful as shit. And then people coming up and acting like a damn fool about it, doing shit that just push you over the edge, that's this man's fault. And he knew it. And he knew it. That's why we don't see it more in the news. Mike Tyson received charges. Mike Tyson ain't going to see shit about this. And that's why I'll go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead right now, and I'll go ahead and say that this man gets a 2.5, maybe a 3. You know, he was dumb enough to do it. He's dumb enough to do it. But when the cops got there and the rubber hit the road, he's not cooperating. Like, those cops want to bust Mike Tyson. He's like, nah, fuck you. Like, no. Nope, I'm not cooperating with you. I did this. Like, this was me. This wasn't him. Like, that's what this looks like. So I'm not going to score this guy a 3 or a 4. I'm going to keep him below the threshold of, you know, I'm just casually stupid is what I'm going to rate him as. You know, 2.5.
I'll give him the 2 just because I think he paid the consequence for his actions. So
right. I mean, like, that's just it at the end of the day.
It really is.
The only person who got hurt was truly the person who deserved it.
I mean, Mike might have hurt his fist a little bit. Who knows?
Well, that's why that's why we're not giving him a 0 score.
Right.
He gets a little bit. He gets a little bit, but not much.
That being said, folks, that's going to bring us to an end of this episode of the Social Liability Podcast. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. Just search for Social Liability Podcast. You can also find us on any podcasting platform. So I ask that you just tell a friend, get someone else to listen. You know, do us a solid. I am the Raspberries. My co-host is the Buck. Wishing you all a happy and safe week.